Hey ladies, it's Mocha Mommy here, bringing you another video. And I don't anticipate on being on too long because the game is on. So I'm just gonna make this a really quick live, and I'm just gonna relay a story to you ladies. Okay, so I had noticed something going on this week, and my spouse was just acting like kind of weird, and um, we were in the gym and I was just kind of asking like what's going on because he was kind of complaining about like the gym equipment and all this other stuff. Um and he I basically kind of get to the bottom of it, and he was saying that he has a little side hustle where he teaches kids private batting lessons. He started this about 2 years ago, and kind of ramped it up after everything when people were trying to get the rust knocked out of it, from being sedentary for too long. So um, basically, he started saying that there are some other people who were talking trash about him and his age, and that his methods were too um, old school. And basically, and my husband was kind of like, oh, I should have started sooner. And I'm like, time out. You shouldn't have started sooner. You started when you started. And the reason why you started what you started is because you decided to invest in your kids. You coached their little league all the way through. And um, your daughter is your biggest business card. Her accomplishments in this field are, are so incredible. And it's a real testament to how well you've done. I said, and then number two, you also have other things to do. These guys, this is their only job. This is their only job. So you're eating what pays their rent. And, you decided that you wanted to invest in your military career. You decided to invest in your children. You decided to invest in, you know, your company when it was a small startup that ended up getting taken over by a larger subsidiary, and you helped facilitated that change. So you should be proud of all that you've accomplished. Where these guys, this is their bread and butter, and they're gonna say negative things about you, and you shouldn't let it get you down. And he's like, yeah, okay, but I definitely know that as time progresses and he hits these milestones age wise, he is I'm gonna have to keep up with that reassurance. Now, we are looking at hip hop turning 50. So hip hop is going to go through a midlife crisis. Expect hip hop to start acting out. I also want you ladies to take into consideration the emotional and social impacts of what a midlife crisis is, right? Um, Now, my spouse, even as accomplished as he is, still needs like comfort and reassurance during this time in his life. So imagine for men who don't have that level of accomplishment and don't have that type of support system, right? How they're going to act when they hit midlife crisis. And I think what a lot of you ladies are seeing online are men approaching that midlife crisis who don't really have that support system or level of accomplishment. So as hip hop turns 50, you're going to be looking at a lot of men whose identity was very wrapped up in this, okay, have to come to terms with their aging. Okay, you're going to start to see these men act up. So they're going to have to come to terms with the aging, um, and just expect to see them act up. Their identity is very, very wrapped up in this culture, like that 90s hip hop culture. And right now, hip hop is hitting a midlife crisis and it's making a huge transition. Right now, these are two number one hip hop artists in the world right now. Okay. So, yeah, exactly. Like, exactly. So when we're looking at hip hop aging, this is who is at the top of the charts right now. It's Little Nas X and Jack Harlow, a white male and a member of the LGBTQ community. Because I don't know how Little Nas X, what his, I don't want to misgender him because I don't know if he, I want to use the correct pronouns. Um, so anyway, I don't know Little Nas X's correct pronoun. So anyway, you have Lil Nas X and Jack Harlow. Kind of Industry Baby is the number one hip hop song right now. So I want you to imagine people whose identity is wrapped up in hip hop, how they might be taking this. Okay. So when we see Meek Mill acting out, right? When we see Meek Mill acting out um, with the promotion of Expensive Pain, there were only 45,000, less than 45,000 albums on pre-sale. In a world where hip hop artists are known to go double or triple platinum, Meek Mill, a dark-skinned black male ex-con who has the type of content he has, was released. His new album was released with very little fanfare. And typically, hip hop albums are released in the summer, right? So hip hop albums are really released in the summer, and he waited to a time when you're not expecting a hip hop album to be released. Really, this is kind of pop's time, right? So why would he not release in the summer? Why would he not? Okay. Sorry, that's the wrong slide. He would not release in the summer because there was competition in the summer. Competition that his people did not feel that he could win. All right, so I'm sorry these slides are a little out of order, but okay, so this weekend here in Austin was a Formula One weekend. This is kind of what my spouse wanted. So some of his family members kind of came by to celebrate, with my spouse and then watch this race, celebrate my husband and watch this race, okay? So Formula One, that's a big money sport, y'all. So definitely, if you ladies want to get into it, I highly suggest. There's about 3 races left in the season. They usually don't happen in our time zone, and there's only one race on American soil, and that's here in Austin. The number one driver is Lewis Hamilton. He is Guyanese and British. He is on the precipice of setting a Formula One record for the most Grand Prix wins. But he has some competition in Max Verstappen, who is Dutch, very young, and has a long career ahead of him. And Max Verstappen ended up winning the American Grand Prix. Now, typically, whenever these Grand Prix events happen, each pit crew is able to invite a celebrity guest. So, of course, my husband's younger cousin is very much into Team Red Bull, Max Verstappen and the Young Guns. My spouse and his uncle are Team Petronas, which is like Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton dated Nicki Minaj, actually. I found that very interesting. And he said the reason why he wanted to date Nicki Minaj was because of her drive to be number one. And he felt like it was important for him to have a woman by his side whose drive was to be number one. So she basically fumbled the bag on that one. You had Mercedes Golden Boy wanting to be your man, and you picked what you picked. Can you imagine the car you could have drove? Team Petronas, basically, it's a Mercedes-Benz subsidiary. But anyway, dummy. So anyway, the special guest of Max Verstappen was Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion was Max Verstappen's special guest, Team Red Bull. So I thought that was really interesting. And also, too, her album was released this summer, and a lot of hip hop albums were not released as to not compete with her, right? Because they know that she pretty much, so this Dutch driver who speaks, he speaks English, but yeah, he wanted Megan Thee Stallion in his pit, y'all. Now, I didn't like her outfit. I'll be real. My husband's uncle liked her outfit. I didn't go because it was kind of like a boys trip, but So yeah, um, yeah, it was kind of a guy's trip. So I just thought it was interesting like that, you know. So just as hip hop hits its midlife crisis, expect there to be some acting out. That's all I'm trying to say. Expect there to be some acting out as hip hop ages. And men whose identity is very wrapped up in that, expect them to act out. So, ladies, brace yourself. Okay, now here's a question because I got this from a subscriber, right? A subscriber that I love dearly. Who, um, hey Darren, hey y'all. Oh, framing femininity. Hi, my world. Oh, so anyway, a subscriber that I love dearly. We had there was a discussion of me too. Yeah, definitely good. Definitely look at some of the pictures of Meg. You know, she was yeah, she had a whole hotel to herself, something like that. Yeah, they bought out a whole hotel for her. So anyway, um, the divestment question came up from a content creator I really respect, and I said that I don't think I can call myself divested simply because I'm too invested in the progress of Black women to call myself divested. I also think that we have an incredible and illustrious history as a people. So I feel like that needs to be brought more to the forefront instead of just the dysfunction of our history as a people. And so because I'm invested in that, I don't know if that counts as being divested. You see what I'm saying? Also, because I'm also in favor of a strategic alliance, right? Those of you who are reading Art of War for Women or have read it, strategic alliance. So, how I would define strategic alliance is if your relationships with all people are from A to Z, right? They're completely comprehensive. You have relationships that are from A to Z. They're comprehensive relationships. But there's some people, your relationship with them are only from A to E because certain things they do, you don't F with. You see what I'm saying? The relationship is only A, B, C, D, E because certain things you don't F with. That's what I'm, and that's what I would mean by a strategic alliance. So let's kind of think about like this situation here, right? Um, my Divine Nine family. Um, so this time of year, you know, when we kind of have our like founders prayer breakfast, right? It's kind of customary for the brothers of the Divine Nine to kind of pay for our breakfast, right? So I am not that divested where I am not going to eat some pancakes in the name of Jesus up on somebody's Amex card. Let's say that. Okay. I'm not gonna revoke your black card for being married to Becky if your Amex card is gonna pay for me and my sisters to have our prayer breakfast. Let's keep it all the way 100. You know, I know you know. So I'm just saying, like, I'm not that bad. You know, at this time of year too, like think about it, you know, our food banks are kind of running empty. Our you know, we're gonna start having to do our Christmas time fundraisers for toys for children in need. You best believe I'm hitting these folks up for some money. Trust me. If you I'm not too divested for, you know, brothers to write some checks. That's what I'm gonna say, right? I mean, Black women still need green money. That's all I'm saying. Black women still need green money. Listen, one of the young ladies who I had sponsored, my spouse and I had sponsored all the way through softball, has a Division III scholarship. And if you don't, ladies know how Division III scholarships work, they're not full rides. So what usually happens is you will get a certain amount of money for the school to play the sport, but then they kind of hook you up with like, oh well, I don't know, the Jones Family Memorial Scholarship for scholar athletes. You'll qualify for that. Or you'll get like a work study package to be like the offensive coordinator's assistant, where you like photocopy the playbooks for your sports team. So that's kind of um, how it goes if you're a Division 3 athlete. Now, I knew that this young lady was going to school in an area where there is a particular fraternal order that is known to be angel donors. So I'm not too divested to tell her this is who you put your application to, and this is how you apply, and this is the phone number you call to make sure they got your application. I'm not that divested because Black women still need green money. Okay. This young lady is an architecture and drafting major. Okay. So the first, um, you know, first semester's books and equipment and software was like $700. So this particular fraternity gave her a $2,000 check. So she bought her books and then she bought her plane ticket for Christmas home, right? And then with the rest, she is going to um, use it for like, if you're an athlete, sometimes you might get away from an away game and the cafeteria might close. So, just to have a little bit of money to eat um, and to spend. So I'm not that divested, right? So, where listen, Black women still need green money. So th- that's how I feel about that. Um, Also, during all this wokeness that was happening, there were a lot of people in the Divine Nine who were stepping up to be angel donors for small businesses, to do some micro lending. I've done that as well. Um, Also, there's one brother who always makes it a point. A lot of sisters don't like dealing with him simply because he always makes it a point to mention his wife is Latina. I'm like, well, my husband is Latino. Write these checks. These kids need toys. Like, write these checks. I mean, I didn't say it in that way, but I did let him know about our fundraiser. So, um, yeah, I'm not too divested because Black women still need green money. Hi, Silent Storm. But anyway, with that being said, I'm not. I'm saying there's A to E, and there's certain things I'm not gonna F with. So I'm not gonna burn these bridges and die on this divestment hill when I know that there are things that are in need. I mean, I know like one of my sorors, um, she works like her with the church she belonged to. She does like first time home buyers workshops, and during all this wokeness, one of the real estate agents who's a Phi A, Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity incorporated, he was like, I'm going to waive my commission. He's a real estate agent. I'm going to waive my commission, so I can help uh, for 3 Black families who want to realize the dream of home ownership. So of course, Rhonda, she's like, oh, I got 3 right here, because of course she volunteers at her church for their first time homebuyers workshop. So of course she's like, here's 3 right here. They pre-qualified, and here's the listings that they're interested in. Thank you, because Black women still need green money. Like, I'm not about to. I don't blame her for not turning that down. So yeah, I'm not divested enough to turn away certain opportunities. Um, so I'm not. I just want to encourage you, ladies, to not do the same, to think the same way, right? Boundaries are great. Boundaries are great. But at the same time, strategic alliances are great too. All right, which is one of the reasons why I've definitely directed you ladies to this book a lot. Um, One of the things too I hear a lot are kind of like saying the men of the diaspora, like, um, uh-oh, your Braves are playing today. I knew it. But anyway, you, I just want you ladies to know that boundaries are important, but so are strategic alliances. So I know that there's people would say like, oh, in the diaspora, whatever, whatever. Okay, here's my experience. I had a lab partner in an organic chemistry class by the name of Akil. He was from the diaspora. He was from Senegal, Muslim guy, really great guy, very talented in the natural sciences, chemistry in particular. Now, it's socially acceptable. It's for us to carry a average below a 3.0 if you have several natural sciences on your transcript. But because I was a ROTC student, that was not going to work out. So Akil was very much helpful in that sense, and his Muslim background, definitely he was respectful of my boundaries. So that's something I would never ever. Oh, they put 2 more runs up since I last saw. Thanks, Chavis. Um, so that's not an alliance that I would have given up. Somebody who was that talented in that subject area. I think he went on to work for like Sun Technologies or Oracle or something like that, doing like something with biomedical or biochemical engineering or something. So anyway, I was not going to give that alliance up. And there's something that goes on. This one particular hospital system I was working for at one point in time. The African American nurses would say something, and that was, these Nigerian residents be doing too much. These Nigerian residents be doing too much, which I really didn't agree with that. I was like, okay, if they want to do too much, let them do too much for my patients. Because of course, advanced practice nurses and physician assistants don't have ordering privileges for certain lab tests, for certain prescription drugs, for certain diagnostic testing. We don't have all of that. So if one of these students and these residents in the diaspora are quote unquote doing too much, do too much for my patients. Do too much for my patients. I had no problem with dropping off somebody's LFTs or dropping off somebody's cardiac enzyme labs and be like, hey, Dr. Such and such, I feel my patient may need a cardiac ultrasound or, additional, a liver CT. What do you think? Right? If you want to do too much for my patients. Do too much for my patients. I'm not going to burn that bridge. I'm sorry. And I seriously don't want you ladies to do it either. And so I think strategic alliances is something we should really work on. You should get some benefit out of this. Get some benefit out of your professional and academic relationships. Get some strategic benefit out of the things that you're passionate about. If there's a mentorship opportunity, if there's that comes with these things, definitely take advantage. Still have boundaries, but be strategic as well. And that's really what I want you ladies to take away. And I'm not trying to go against anybody else or start any beef, because I believe that all of us have great things to offer and great opportunities for Black women to grow. But at the same time, I want you to get the most out of your life. If these brothers here are going to write some checks for charity, write them checks and tell Becky I said hi. Tell Becky I said hi. Excuse me, I'm drinking water here. Tell Becky I said hi. I'm not not gonna let that get in the way of my overall objective, and I don't want it to get in the way of yours either. So definitely have those boundaries. Like I said, there are relationships that are comprehensive, A to Z. But if you want to keep it A to E, because there's certain things you don't F with, I'm going to support you in that. I'm going to support you in that. And I don't know if that means divestment, right? Because I think that, some people may debate that, but and those and they have that right to take their stance and to gatekeep that. They have that right, and I'm not going to argue about it. But at the same time, I just want you ladies to have access to what you want. Have access to what it is you want. You know, um, and that's really how we should learn to maneuver in this space. And I want the best for each of you, and I want all of you to just do what benefits you, because you deserve it. You deserve it. And with hip hop going through a midlife crisis right now, have your guard up. Understand what it is you're seeing, so you don't take it too seriously. Now back to this issue here, because I kind of feel like it keeps circulating around, and I've been getting some responses to it. And here's my opinion. The most I've ever heard Hafiz talk was in his interview with Ruslan KD, right? The faith-based content creator. That was the most I've ever heard Hafiz talk of the roommates. And then it was believed that the suited content creator had made a response video to this, talking about what's wrong with the black church or something like that. And Ruslan KD came back with the response and saying, I can't say that this video was about me, and I can't say that this video, and I definitely can't make a narrative of the black church. Yes, his wife is an African-American woman, but he says, I can't make that value judgment. But what I can say is that I will be, contacting my network of pastors and my network of men's ministry leaders, and kind of building more of a support network for men of faith to grow men up in the faith, after having a conversation with Hafiz and now the suited content creator's response to that. So basically, it was like the white male version of the Tabitha Brown shade that Wendy Williams gave, that she gave to Wendy Williams, like, "I'ma pray for you" type thing. Like, it was definitely like the "I'ma pray for you." It was definitely like, I see more of a need for men of faith to step up, because I see men are struggling with way more than I think they are, and than I ever believed, to the point where these men are, have such large platforms. So I definitely saw that coming, and I know that a lot of ladies will say, I feel that you should make response videos or blah blah blah, and I'm kind of feeling like I'm arresting my femininity and I'm gonna let the men whose image is at stake take care of this. You know, it's very interesting to me how, these Gen X male content creators want millennial women to take accountability, and I'm putting that in air quotes, for 1965 welfare, when these Gen X men who were around in 1985 didn't do anything about the crack epidemic. And in 1995, after the Million Man March, didn't come back and do anything systemic. And in 2005 and in 2015, when you had more and more African American men coming out of this industrial prison complex, they didn't create an economic safety net for these men to be able to provide for themselves or their families, right? Nobody's holding them accountable for that. See what I'm saying? So until they address that, don't expect me, you know, there are a lot of really great content creators who make really great manosphere response videos, and I will definitely, give them a like, share, subscribe. But I just feel like that's just not my strong suit. I don't feel it's my strong suit. My My strong suit um, would pretty much be like the uh, just giving you ladies a historical context so you know how to maneuver for yourselves, right? The strategic maneuvering. So I love that so many um, female content creators are putting their own um, spin on level up um, on hypergamy dating. On I love that so many, and I'm super in support of that. And I'm still getting emails from 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 subscribers about how ladies like Eve Harris, who went from homeless to being a homeowner, and how that inspired them. How people like Angel K, um, and her surviving her parents' domestic violence situation to go on to move ahead with her life, to Raven Smith, to the content that she had suggested to help Black women in the field of STEM, and how it just gave them academic support resources when she did her live. Same thing with Prime Standard. Same thing with Atkins Bar and Mustard Yellow. Same thing with Intriguing Owl. Same thing with Locked Honey Princess. How they really have um, added so much to the platform in ways that I couldn't have done it, and I'm so grateful for their contributions. I think of like people like the DC the Purple Diva and Vin Lee. To me, I think they do a better job at guided meditation than I could ever do. You know, I think that framing femininity. There's no way I could have done a 2 hour live by myself. And the fact that she had done that Shy Girl workshop, um, because it's an issue I never struggled with. And the fact that we can come together and help one another, that's what I would like to see in this space. You know, um, you know, I just want um, all of us who are content creators or who are contributors to like these platforms to just continue to help one another, because I really feel that that's the way we are going to really level up with support. And it's sad that some Black women don't have that support in their real life and they have to depend on it virtually. And I'm going to make more of a point to be there for people in real life. It was crazy because I remember when I put that short up, and it said, baby, people who you don't even think care are watching you or inspired by you or something like that. And I remember putting that up because there is actually a young lady at my facility, doesn't even work on my shift, who told me that she was going to be taking the GRE and that her goal for 2022 was to go to grad school. And she told me and she told Tiffany. And she doesn't even work our shift. Somebody we didn't even know was watching and was inspired by it. And I don't think Raven Smith, when she was talking about some of the academic resources that she used for her calculus, would help another woman on the whole other side of the country not only pass her class, but build confidence enough so that she was able to take on a computer certification course with confidence because she had the critical thinking skills. Like that's what I'm talking about. You know, and I love that. I love that about our space. And so my hopes going forward is that we might not have like everything, the same thing, everything about each other all the time. But I really hope that we can benefit from each other's content and benefit from helping one another because that's what it's really all about. And, you know, um, I really think that you ladies help me grow as a content creator. Like all the questions you've asked me, all the times you've stepped up to answer the call for things that I'm not really good at. I'm grateful for those things. I'm grateful for those things. I'm grateful for the questions you ask, the content you send me. Um, and I'm looking forward to sharing more of what you ladies create. As you've supported me, I want to support you. So as you ladies create content, I look forward to sharing that. Um, so I am encouraged. I am encouraged by all of you, and um, even Chavis, the Braves fan. No, just understand that. Yeah, I'm petty. I'm petty when it comes to a lot of baseball fans. You ladies will find that as you guys go out during the World Series, as you ladies go out, you're gonna find that um, there's some petty individuals who are fans of this sport. Like I'm mad at the Braves from like 1989. I'm like mad at y'all from like Chipper Jones to John Rocker to David Justice. I'm petty, but when it comes to this space, I'm not. I'm petty when it comes to baseball. There's players, there's players I'm still mad at. Like I'm still mad at Chipper Jones. I remember when my husband, he told me when we first met, he told me like, yeah, I remember when I used to come to Shea Stadium, they used to give us a briefing um, about Shea Stadium and how the fans used to heckle. And we had to be careful. And they used to brief us about the Shea Stadium fans heckling people. And I was like, if you got heckled at Shea Stadium, then you've already met my family. Because we're petty individuals. We are petty. We're petty individuals. Um, so I'm gonna, watch the game. It's very funny too. I'm gonna tell you the story. All right. Um, and the reason why I'm telling you this story is because this is the reason why I don't debate a lot of manosphere content, simply because of this story. All right, it's 2019, right? And I have a couple of girlfriends who are single and kind of complaining about it. I mean, I've had some girlfriends do that. So I was like, I'm gonna show y'all ladies the game. So we kind of start triangulating sports bars around the playoff time, and we pick like there's two or three spots that are really good. You know, um, the ratio always favors us, but you have to be careful, like which sports bars you go to when, because some of them are are I didn't know that. I didn't know that, but I just know that he didn't like the Mets. That's all. That's why I didn't like him. But anyway, this is what I'll say. Like, so we're kind of triangulating sports bars, and we kind of have narrowed it down. So it's like I think it's maybe game five, game six, and I said we're going to wear the opposite team's jersey to this sports bar because here in Texas, almost everybody was Astros fans. So we wore the opposite team's jersey. We wore the Washington Nationals jersey. And I was like, any connection you have to Washington, D.C., try to use that to start conversation. So um, one of my girlfriends, um, I said to her, go over to that guy in the Nolan Ryan throwback. She was wearing a Schwarber. This is when Schwarber played for the Nationals. He basically won them that World Series, Schwarber and Soto. So anyway, I said, go up to that guy in that Nolan Ryan jersey and tell him how much you respected Nolan Ryan as a pitcher and ask him what his favorite Nolan Ryan memory was. And they start talking and laughing and giggling and they're having a good time. Then, because it's game six, the bars are getting kind of crowded. The crowd is kind of building up. Um, these like three, little chippies kind of walk in, you know, thinking that they're going to, in their attention getting outfits. And my girlfriend, her face kind of sinks a little bit. She's like, oh, he's going to go over and talk to those girls. I'm like, okay, let's be honest. This place is mostly men. If he goes over and talks to those girls, right? He runs the risk of getting shot down in front of all of these guys who are looking at them. And trust me, most men are not that bold. And wouldn't you know, he did not go over. He was getting my friend another drink, right? He was getting my friend another drink. And then he asked her for a number and walked her to her car. Trust me, ladies. This bravado is false bravado. It's only on YouTube. Because if you're at a high-end sports bar and you're seeing the ratio favors you when these ladies come in, despite the fact that you've quote unquote hit the wall, whatever. You, she knew who Nolan Ryan was. That's currency. You know what I'm saying? That's currency. So don't ever underestimate yourself in these spaces. And ladies, I'm gonna tell you, like, from somebody who's been out, like dysfunctional Debbie and Prozac Patty is winning the dating game right now. Like emotionally unstable women are out in droves. So if you're like halfway sane, even if you need therapy, you are far ahead of the single women that are out right now. Because at least you can acknowledge it. There are some women out here, I'm like, what? Like my husband's coworkers would tell me these stories. And I'm like, what? Ladies, y'all. Prozac Patty getting pulled out. Prozac Patty getting flew out. And you guys are worried about like, I gotta lose 13 pounds. Nope. Tammy with two stomachs is out there with gut hanging out in a medium shirt. You know what I mean? She out here. She out here, y'all. She out here. All right, let me stop giggling, but like, you know, Prozac Patty getting flued out, and y'all are sitting here like worried about the 13 pounds I gotta lose. Man, two tummy Tammy is out. Two tummy Tammy is out. With her two tummies and her medium shirt. You know, she got on her best Walmart spandex. And she about to go. She about to go to sports bar, y'all. She about to get her tab paid and get these nachos. Y'all, I'm serious, y'all. Let me stop laughing. Okay, let me stop laughing. For real, like, don't hesitate to just, you know, go out and network because there are people who are really looking for connection. And you ladies have so much to offer. I mean, you know, you're beautiful, you're intelligent, you're talented, and you have a level of compassion and like a level of just empathy for other women and the ability to want to see other people succeed and be successful. So, ladies, I just want to let you know that go out there and shine, you know, because it looks like at least the Astros fan might need a shoulder to cry on. I mean, looking at this game, Lord of mercy. Um, and I will get over my pettiness for the Braves because I should not be mad from like 1989. Like I shouldn't be mad, but um, yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. I agree. Don't like SpongeBob. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Yeah, that is the best quote. That's the best quote because that's exactly what's going on. Because, you know, ladies, just don't be afraid to put yourself out there because, you know, people out there, you have a lot to offer. And, you know, have the confidence to just be out there and enjoy yourself. So, I'm going to watch the rest of the game, and I hope that you ladies have a good night and a good rest of your week. And just be on your guard because when you start to see this acting out, look for the behavior behind it. There might be something, excuse me. There might be something to this, you know. Um, you know, maybe a low album sale or a failure in some area of their life where they feel as if they need to attack you. You know, because midlife crisis is no joke. Like I just even remember, like, wow, even can you I mean, even my husband, he was feeling like some kind of way about this, people insulting his age. And I'm like, what? You know, um, it surprised me, but at the same time, it's like, it just lets you know that it's very real and expect some bad behavior. So I hope you ladies have a good night.